I just don't feel the spark anymore, she said with a shrug, then posted pictures with her coworker the very next day. So I erased her from my life without a word. Now she's crying at my door after realizing he was just using her. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I should have seen it coming. The signs were all there. Lisa's texts getting shorter, her excuses for working late piling up, the way she'd pull her phone closer when I walked into the room. But I trusted her. That was my first mistake. It was a Tuesday night when she finally said it. We were sitting on the couch, some forgettable reality show playing in the background, when she turned to me with that look. The one that makes your stomach drop before a single word leaves their mouth. Mark, we need to talk. I muted the TV. Okay. About what? She took a deep breath, like she was steeling herself for some great sacrifice. I don't feel the spark anymore. There it was. The classic breakup line. It's not you, it's me, of our generation. I stayed quiet, waiting for the rest. It's not that you did anything wrong, she continued, avoiding my eyes. We've just grown apart, I think. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. Is there someone else? Her reaction was instant, too instant. No. God, Mark, of course not. She even had the nerve to look offended. This isn't about that. I just need space to figure myself out. I nodded slowly. Okay. That seemed to throw her. She'd probably expected tears, begging, promises to change. But I just sat there, watching her fidget with the hem of her shirt. So, she said after an awkward pause, I think I'm going to stay at Jess's place for a few days. Just to clear my head. Sure. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say more, then closed it again. 20 minutes later, she was gone with an overnight bag, leaving me alone with the unmuted chaos of the reality show still playing. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I opened Instagram while drinking my coffee. And there she was. Lisa, posted 3 hours ago, laughing on a rooftop bar, her coworker Jake's arm draped over her shoulders. The caption, when the vibes just sparkles match sparkles, with a heart eyes emoji. I recognized Jake's shirt. It was the same one he'd been wearing in their work team photo yesterday, meaning this wasn't some spontaneous post-breakup drink. This was planned. I zoomed in on her face. She was glowing, no trace of the conflicted girl from last night. So this was the space to figure myself out she needed. I didn't rage, didn't text her, didn't even screenshot it. I just unfollowed her, blocked her number, deleted every photo of us from my phone. By the time she came back 2 days later, probably expecting to find me a wreck, my key was on the counter and half my stuff was already gone. Her first text came an hour after she realized. Mark, what the hell? We need to talk about this. I left it on read. The first week was the hardest. Not because I missed her, I was too numb for that, but because my brain kept betraying me. I'd wake up reaching for my phone to text her good morning. I'd catch myself staring at the door at 6:30 p.m., half expecting her key in the lock. Muscle memory is a cruel thing. I threw myself into work, stayed late, took on extra projects. My boss pulled me aside on Thursday, frowning. You okay, Mark? You've been here past midnight 3 days in a row. Just motivated, I said. At home, I boxed up the last of my things from her apartment while she was at work. Left her favorite hoodie I'd accidentally kept folded on the bed. A petty goodbye. My phone buzzed constantly the first few days. Not from Lisa, from mutual friends. Dude, Lisa's freaking out. She says you ghosted her. Are you really just gonna leave like that? I answered none of them. They'd chosen their side the moment they let her spin this as me abandoning her. Then, on day 5, the first direct attempt, unknown number. Hey, I recognized Lisa's phrasing even without her contacts saved. That hesitant ellipsis. I stared at it until the screen went dark. The next morning, a voicemail. Her voice was softer than I'd heard in months. Mark, I just want to make sure you're okay. Call me back. I deleted it. By week 2, the text stopped. The friends stopped reaching out. The silence was louder than I expected. That's when I started running. 5 miles every morning before dawn, until my lungs burned and my thoughts blurred into static. One morning, I caught my reflection in a store window. Thinner, sharper, unfamiliar. Good. I wanted to be unrecognizable. The first crack in Lisa's perfect new reality appeared exactly 37 days after I walked away. I know because Chris, one of the few mutual friends who hadn't immediately taken her side, texted me a screenshot. It was Lisa's Instagram story, a blurry selfie with red-rimmed eyes, captioned, "When you realize not everyone has good intentions." Chris, Jake ghosted her after their work trip. Dude was apparently texting 3 other girls the whole time. I didn't respond. Just stared at the image, at the smudged mascara she'd never let me see back when we were together. The Lisa I knew curated every emotion, every post, into something polished. This was raw, ugly, real. Her next story an hour later was a quote. "The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off." I almost laughed. By week 6, the facade crumbled completely. "Chris, you gotta see Jake's IG." I hadn't looked at either of their profiles since that first day, but curiosity got the better of me. Jake's latest post was a beach photo, his arm around some blonde girl in a bikini. The timestamp, yesterday. The location tag, the same resort Lisa had raved about visiting with him next month. The comments were a graveyard of deleted messages. I could tell from the stray replies like, "Wow, classy," and "Guess Lisa was right about you." Then, like clockwork, my phone lit up. "Unknown number. Again, can we please talk? It's important." Still no apology. Just entitlement. I swiped the notification away. Her second voicemail came at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. "Mark, I know you're ignoring me, but..." A shaky breath. "I think I made a huge mistake. Jake was just using me." And a muffled sound, maybe a sob. "I miss you. Please call me back." I saved it. Not out of sentiment, as evidence. Proof that this wasn't some heartfelt realization. Just regret that her backup plan fell through. The next morning, another text. "Unknown number. I never meant to hurt you." I was confused. I could practically hear the unspoken second half. Now that he hurt me, I'm suddenly very clear-headed. Still, I didn't block her. Let her keep digging this hole. Let her see what true silence felt like. The final confirmation came from an unexpected source. LinkedIn. A notification popped up, "Lisa M. and 2 others also viewed your profile." And there she was, checking my page twice in 1 week after 6 months of radio silence. I clicked through to hers. Her job title still read, Marketing Associate at Crawford & Sons, same as when we'd met. Meanwhile, my new promotion to Senior Project Lead glared back at her in bold font. Karma's funniest trick? It doesn't need your participation. That night, my phone buzzed one last time. "Unknown number. I'm outside your building." "Just 5 minutes?" I walked to the window. There she was, shivering in that stupid thin jacket she always wore to look effortless, staring up at my lit apartment like some tragic rom-com heroine. I closed the blinds. The knocking started soft, then grew louder. Thud, thud, thud. I counted to 30 in my head before walking to the door. Not because I was considering opening it, just to see how long she'd stand out there in the cold. The knocking stopped. A pause. Then, "Mark, I know you're home." Lisa's voice was sharper than I remembered. The kind of tone she used when I'd forgotten to text her back within an hour. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "You have 5 seconds before I call building security." Silence. Then a wet sniff. "Please, just open the door." I didn't move. "I made a mistake, okay?" Her voice cracked. "Jake was just a rebound. You're the one." I yanked the door open so fast she stumbled back. Lisa looked smaller. Her nails were bitten raw, her hair frizzing at the temples from the winter air. The jacket she used to love was stained at the cuffs. She blinked up at me, lips parting like she'd rehearsed this moment. "You look good." I said nothing. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," she rushed on. "About us. About how you were always there. And I was just stupid." A car honked somewhere below us. The elevator dinged down the hall. Normal sounds in a world where this wasn't happening. "I regret everything," she whispered. I studied her face, the smudged eyeliner, the way her jaw trembled. Not with guilt, with fear. Fear that I'd say no. Fear that she'd have to face what she'd done alone. "No, you don't," I finally said. "You regret that he tossed you aside like last week's takeout." Her breath hitched. "That's not. It's exactly what happened." I stepped back, hand on the doorknob. "And now you're here because you think I'm still the guy who'll clean up your messes." Her eyes flashed. "You're really just going to throw away 3 years like this?" There it was, the real Lisa. The one who'd posted laughing photos with Jake the day after our breakup. The one who thought love was something you could shelve and pick back up when convenient. I smiled. Not cruel. Not kind. Just done. Already did. The door clicked shut. Her fist pounded against it once. Twice. Then, nothing. Through the peephole, I watched her wipe her face with shaking hands. Watched her straighten her jacket like she could reassemble her dignity with it. Then the elevator dinged again, and she was gone. 6 months later, I saw her at Rachel's wedding. I'd almost declined the invitation, but Rachel was one of the few who never took sides. Just come, she'd texted. Bring a date if it helps. I brought no one. The venue was all soft lights and cascading flowers, the kind of place Lisa used to sigh over in bridal magazines. I spotted her immediately, perched at the bar in a too-tight lavender dress, nursing a gin and tonic. Alone. She didn't see me at first. I watched as she checked her phone for the 5th time in 10 minutes, her thumb hovering over Jake's still active contact. Pathetic. Then our eyes met. Her spine straightened like she'd been electrocuted. I raised my bourbon in a mock toast and turned away. She cornered me during the bouquet toss. Mark. Her voice was cloyingly sweet, the way she used to speak to my mother. You look really great. Up close, I could see the foundation caked under her eyes, the overlined lips trying to compensate for their new thinness. Stress had carved into her. Thanks, I said, scanning the crowd for an exit. Are you seeing anyone? The question burst out of her, desperate. I almost laughed. Why? Just making conversation. She fiddled with her clutch. I'm dating this finance guy now. He's amazing. A lie. Rachel had told me last week Lisa was back on Tinder. Cool, I said, and took a sip of my drink. The silence stretched. Her perfume, the same one I'd bought her for our anniversary, clung to the space between us like a ghost. You know, she blurted, I think about us a lot. I finally looked at her. Really looked. Saw the cracks in her manicure, the way her collarbones jutted too sharply. The Lisa I'd loved had been soft at the edges. This version was all angles and hunger. I don't, I said. Her smile faltered. That's a lie. 3 years doesn't just. Lisa. A voice cut through the chatter. A blonde woman in an emerald gown approached, handing me a fresh bourbon. You're monopolizing my date. Lisa's face went slack. You're what? The blonde, Mira from accounting, who'd agreed to this charade for free drinks, slid her arm through mine. Problem. Lisa's mouth opened, closed. No, I just. Her eyes darted between us. Mark never mentioned you. Funny, Mira said lightly. He mentions you all the time. Mostly as a cautionary tale. Lisa made a sound like a deflating balloon. I squeezed Myra's elbow in thanks. We should grab seats. Dinner's starting. As we walked away, I heard one last, choked whisper. You'll regret this. I didn't turn around. Later, during the cake cutting, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. You brought her to hurt me. I see what you're doing. I deleted it. Another buzz. Unknown number. You'll never find someone who loved you like I did. I blocked the number. Across the room, Lisa was drunkenly flirting with a groomsman who kept glancing at his wedding ring. Classic. Mira nudged me. Want to get out of here? There's a dive bar down the street with our name on it. I grinned. Thought you'd never ask. As we slipped out, I caught Lisa watching us leave, her face a perfect portrait of dawning realization. She was nothing to me now. Not a wound. Not a lesson. Just background noise. Rachel's thank you card included a PS. Lisa got fired last week. Showed up hungover 3 days in a row. I tucked it in my desk drawer, next to my promotion letter and Myra's scribbled number. Funny how endings work. Sometimes the universe doesn't just close a door. It hands you the keys to a better one. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.